Morning.
How are you?
I'm well, considering it's so early.
I was going to ask you that first question. A lifetime in rock and roll, early mornings?
Yeah, not my favourite.
Not really.
No, usually just go to bed when I just got up.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to hear somebody's
No, I'm
living a
born
good life.
insomniac anyway. I've always stayed awake at night, so this is a interesting scene.
So is night time a fruitful, creative time for you? Is that when do you work at night?
That's why I started writing, I think. When I was a kid, I was very, couldn't sleep, and I used to stay up and write songs. So it's a cure for insomnia.
Sounds like a good cure. We're going to we'll talk to you in a second, but we're going to have a little look back, a little bit of a nostalgia.
No.
Yes, sorry. Here it is.
White. Here we go. Yeah,
You live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury. Blazing on a sunny afternoon. In summertime. In summertime.
I don't feel safe in this world no more. I don't wanna die in a nuclear war. I wanna sail away to a distant shore and make like an ape man.
You really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me, baby.
I can't believe that it's going to be 50 years next year since that was
Since
out.
it was out, yeah. It's frightening.
It's amazing, isn't it? And you wrote it where? In your parents' front room or something?
Somebody's front room. Yeah. we were.
And you were giving us sort of commentary on some of those clips. Did you say that you'd made the drummer dress up in a gorilla suit?
Eighth Man. It was a first television show for the keyboard player. You didn't see him in that shot. He was on Top of the Pops, and we made him wear a gorilla suit. So he said to all his family and friends, "I'll be on TV next week." But he was dressed as a gorilla.
So you couldn't even see his face?
Well, it's an induction.
Yes, I can imagine. So you talk, you've got a new book, it's called Americana. You talk sort of a lot about your relationship with America.
Yeah.
You've got a sort of deep fascination with America.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to watch the films, cowboy movies, Lone Ranger, and all those things. And we thought America was a place where the great music came from. And when we toured there, our first tour of America was a disaster because we got banned for 4 years.
Why were you banned?
I thought you'd ask that. It's a combination. We fell out with the unions, everybody, and it was a mixture of bad luck, bad management, and bad behaviour. So.
Right, and was that resolved? Were you able to go back in the
Well, the
end?
book Americana picks up from the time when we went back and started from scratch. We had to start going from playing 15,000 seaters to playing clubs that held 200. And it's the journey back, really.
And you talk about not even. And was it the first time you went there? You nearly didn't get in because of something you said at customs.
Oh no, the customs officers said, remember the Beatles had just been the first wave and everybody loved them, quite rightly too. And they said to me, are you a Beatle or a girl? So I said, I'm a girl, and so is my brother. So they held us up for a few hours, but eventually. And that kind of set up the whole tone of the tour.
Yeah.
And nothing really worked out after that.
Were you deliberately kind of awkward or troublesome? Do you think you were kind of
Me?
troublesome? Because
You must be joking.
You seem like such a kind of such a genial kind of guy. Were you just a different creature in those days?
No, I think that, like all young people, I was 19 when I went to America. My brother was 17. And I had attitude, that thing, attitude. And it works in some places, but not in America. America's much more conservative than it is now. It's a conservative country run by liberals, America.
And is it sufficient? I mean, your love of the place. Did you ever want to go and be there and live there? 'Cause
I
a lot of
did.
people in your industry do and stay.
Well, the arc of the book, Americana. Americana sounds pretentious, but I wanted it to express the landscape, the fantastic fascination I had when I was a kid. And I went to live there to discover the music that inspired me, blues. And it all ended up in New Orleans, where Mississippi comes up. You have country music, blues music, bluegrass music. And I went there and tried to live there, and I ended up getting shot.
Yes, you got.
Yes, of course.
I mean, that was.
It's kind of logical, really, to be inspired by people with wielding guns. You end up getting
And just
shot.
remind people what happened. What was the...
Well, you have to read the book. But it's, the book's an interesting kind of jumps back and forth, like memories of the road and where it leads up to. And it kind of ended up on that street where I got shot by a mugger. It's a botched robbery, and it was what it was, a learning curve. A life-defining moment.
Yes, absolutely. You talked about your brother. You talked about what you were 17 and 19 when you went out there. Lots of people ask you all the time whether they will be lucky enough ever to see the Kinks back together.
Yeah, I know. I read about this on the internet all the time.
And
I'm not sure. You know, I always think where there's new music, it's got to be new music involved rather than just. I'm proud of that back catalogue. It's fantastic, and I play it when I do shows. But I was talking to my brother about 2 weeks ago. As long as there's something new to go forward with, rather than stay in the past, I'd do it.
do you think there might be then?
It's negotiating.
It's negotiating.
Oh, well, people will see that
delighted.
as a big step forward. That it's possible.
In sporting terms, he's talking to his agent.
Really?
Yeah, but can't promise anything. You know, it's one of those. The thing about the Kinks, and I think the reason we didn't we upset America when we first went there, is because we're very unpredictable people. We can agree to play somewhere, and people used to come to our shows and didn't know whether we were going to fight on stage or be brilliant. But I think the fire and the energy has a lot to do with the performance. You know, we played very aggressive music when we first went. I know I went on to write Dedicated Follower of Fashion, Sunny Afternoon, you just saw. But a lot of our early music was very aggressive, and it kind of went against us in America because we got a band.
I think things have become a bit tame now.
It's more organised. The pyrotechnics know when to explode, the lights know when to come on and off. There's a thing with the Kinks, you never knew when the lights would come on. Sometimes they went off forever.
Oh.
Lovely to see you here.
It's good to see you.
Thank you very much.
I'll sing Waterloo Road next time, come on.
That'd be lovely.
Did you say you'd sing it next time?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness, we'd love
With the
that.
reformed Kinks, who knows?
I wouldn't promise that.
Wouldn't promise, but there's a little sparkle
There's a
in your
glimmer.
eye.
Ray's new book called Americana out today. The reissue of the Kinks album, The Muswell Hillbillies, available on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we got.